Okay, this is our Tuesday Zoom meeting. We have Bill Patton from Northern California. He just waved. We have Andrea Kibler-Dodd from Dallas. She just waved. And I'm AJ Longoria. I'm here in Orange County. So we have some things to discuss, some things. Let me go real quickly. We hope to be joined by David Sammel, who Andre and I know, who played South African, who has played the Pro Tour. He's traveling with his top students all over the world. He was in Acapulco or Mexico this last week. He's in Istanbul right now. He's trying to get back to the hotel. I just want to give you some news about the Marguerite, which is the signature event, the girls' version of Boys Oh High. We have a meeting tomorrow with Trevor Kroverman about making it a level 3. We had some meetings with one of the high-profile coaches, the universities, the Torrey Pines, those kind of schools to play. And they got back to us and said, you know, they want an individual tournament, only one singles and one doubles. They want it very elite. And they said if it was a level 3, we would all be there. So we have got Dave Borelli, who is one hell of a recruiter and salesman, working on him. And then we have a final meeting tomorrow with Trevor. So that might mean that I guess if you're level 3, that's a national event. I looked up the rules.
Yeah.
So the kids would have to be. You have to qualify, right? So that really would make it even deal. So the exchange, though, is that instead of, if the Marguerite is only 32, we can go up to 64, but whatever it is, because you can't get in because you're not a level 3 player, we are adding a preseason UTR event that can be as big as we want, 128 singles and doubles. The weekend before tryouts start here for girls in August. I think it's 17th, 3-weekend tournament, and then we'll do the same thing for the boys. Dave Borelli and the tennis facilities at Mission Viejo is offered to host it. He's all excited about it. We're going to try to get some stuff out here. He has to get it cleared by his board, and which we're on doing that right now. So a lot of people that would play the Marguerite said, why don't we do it? I have a preseason, so that they're happy. So that's also a big for the CTCA, get us in the black. So that's the news on that. Secondly, we've had a lot of good response from the UTR. We only had 13 or 14 kids, but we already have 4, and we're talking to a lot of people for the next one, which is at the end of this month. Hopefully we'll have good weather. I think we will. So we're pushing that a lot. And I have a meeting on Monday for seating for the CIF individuals, and I'll have all of the coaches there. It's funny, in the last week or 2, I've played the different schools. We played the schools, and I say, did you get my? And they go, oh, yeah, I got it, but I haven't had a chance to look at it,
Hey, AG, you're kind of breaking up a little bit. Wow. AG, you're kind of breaking up a little bit, and we're missing a little bit of what you're saying. Is there a way for you to get closer to your Wi-Fi?
Where is the Wi-Fi? I don't remember where it was. I mean, he's at his desk.
Okay. But anyway, if you can go over that again, because I think we missed some details of something about the seating.
Oh well, we're doing a seating meeting with the 8 schools in my district, and so I will have them all in the same room and drinking beer and eating hot wings. I'll be able to hand out material on UTR stuff and when I see the coaches, when we play them a dual match, I say, "Did you get?" I got it. I just haven't had a chance to look at them, so I know that they don't do that till spring break or weekend. When I do have something and give them a bunch of flyers to give to their kids and all, they go, "Oh, this is great." So it's just a matter of doing that. The UTR thing is really, really big. We just feel it. I can just feel the energy on how that's going to be very good and stuff like that. So
I saw that you have 4 players signed up online right now already for the one coming up next weekend, which is
right.
good. I think you'll probably get a lot more last-minute signups.
Sure.
I bet you'll have, in the 20 range, hopefully this next time.
Like I said, we're behind the curve because of the 4 rainouts, but
Right.
That's good. All right, go ahead. Anybody?
Oh, yeah, I wanted to kind of report back. I mean, I did call my local section of CIF. It's North Coast section, and left a message with Bree Nemi. And then I understand that it's interesting because the new section commissioner is going to be actually a former athletic director that I worked for. The only problem is he's not my biggest fan. So, I'll try to tell a long story really short. I had a problem with a parent from an opposing team who was coaching illegally. And I called him on it, and one thing led to another, and it was not I was very professional, but it was not the most pleasant exchange, right? So I called him to say, "Hey, I just had a little thing with a parent, thought you should know, call me so we can talk about it, blah, blah, blah," right? Well, the next phone call that he got was from that parent, because that parent was his favorite teacher in high school.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, well, I'm sorry that your favorite teacher in high school has disappointed you by doing illegal stuff at a tennis match. But then you know what? Guess who looks like an idiot? So anyway, so he's the new commissioner.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
So anyway, so it might mean that somebody else has to talk to him.
Okay.
That's not a problem.
Yeah, because I don't know. And then there was another time that another coach accused me of stacking my lineup, and I won the dispute and all that. But then he wasn't in my corner on that one. I just didn't. I was disappointing. So anyway, but then I've been broaching UTR to my local coaches here, and I think it's going to have to be sort of forced on them a little bit. I think, it's going to be tough because it seems like coaches around these parts don't really want to go to extra effort if they don't have to. They already are forced to put their stuff into max preps.
Right.
What is max preps?
Max preps, I think it's a California thing, but what it is, it's a recruiting service, essentially. Okay. And so Max Preps is a supporter of the North Coast section. So because it's a sponsor of the section, then they're making the coaches beholden to enter all of their data into their database so that
Is that the only area that they're using Max Prep? Because I've never heard of it anywhere else in the United States.
I don't know a lot about it. You have it. I think it's a California thing. I don't know if it's a Pacific Northwest regional thing, but it's at least California. And yeah,
because in the Texas section, it didn't come easy with the UTR. It was not something that that the coaches jumped onto quickly, but once you got the big schools doing it, then the other schools followed suit. because
Got it.
what was happening was the good big schools, they had really good players, but they didn't. The parents didn't want them entering all the scores into UTR, and then some schools did, and it was, so they kind of, it took a while, but now they're all supposed to be doing it, but it took several years.
What year would you say was the first year that people put a lot of effort into getting UTR into Texas?
You mean like what was the first year that everybody did it?
What was the first year that they started the effort of getting it?
It was a couple years ago. It was every bit of a couple years ago. I mean, yeah, and I want to say, honestly, last year was probably the first year that everybody did it. Last year was probably the first year that, when I say everyone, we're talking, 80% of the schools. There's still a small percentage that doesn't, but last year was probably the first year that 80% put it in. And then, and then he changed it to verified and unverified, or verified and then just regular UTR. And I think now he's changed it again because there was a whole bunch of, uproar with some of the high schools. So, I mean, I've got several friends that are high school coaches, and, they talk to me about it because I ask them, what they feel is good and bad about UTR, or what they feel that would be good, in a high school setting that we could use in California and stuff like that. But they do like the UTR because there's a lot of kids that their parents just cannot afford to do all the tournaments, and then the kids can't necessarily do all the high school stuff and try to maintain their grades. So they've got to try to find that balance. And so that's why they feel that, the UTR is great. So they just didn't like seeing the two different rating systems with UTR. There was verified, and then there was just regular UTR. That's where they started having issues again. So, but I think as a vast majority of the coaches like it. It just took a while for them to come up.
Yeah, I can see that.
Go ahead, AG.
Just to give you an example, in college, it took them 15 years. I remember when I first started the CTCA, where I got cancer, they said, they came to me and you said, you have to get everybody to got to input your scores and stuff. This is before they had their big sponsor. This is the USC's, the Stanford's doing it, and then now everybody knows to send in their stuff. Every week or after every dual match or after.
Right.
So it'll take time, but I will tell you that the one coach, and this is a good selling point that we'll use. Sarah coach, he brought his as many as he could, because he wanted him to play. He said, I don't care if we play ourselves. I just want to get in the system, because he knows he wants to get all of his players in UTR. And he's talking it up, and I'm going to use him. He'll be at my meeting with the other 8 coaches in my area, our district. And so that's a selling point. He says, look, play a UTR event on a Saturday. Just have your kids come and pay $30. They're in the system.
Yep.
And it'll go. So we're a couple of years away maybe from having so many people do it that we can have it. Once we get the big schools, and then we start publishing a ranking, a weekly ranking, and you say, why am I not ranked? Says, well, you don't have any UTR points,
Right.
So
right.
No.
So my season actually ends Wednesday. The regular season ends Wednesday, and then my kids are off on the longest spring break I can think of, and they're going to be gone for 11 days for spring break.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then they come back, and we're going to have our league championships on the 29th. So on the 29th, I'm going to broach this at the coaches meeting, that we could, and I would even volunteer to take all the tournament results from our league championships and put those in UTR. And I might even go out of my way to list each school for them. If they don't want to do it, I'll just make their listing for them. And and then let them see the benefit of that, because so anyway, and then from there it'll start to trickle down. Once we get the top kids in there, then and then I'll go backwards and input all of my scores from my season in there, and then my kids will have all of these these scores to compare, and then I'll put scores of them playing each other,
right?
And
so did you talk to David Fish, and are these high schools in California going to be able to get a program or get the program at a free or at a reduced
it's free rate? Yeah, I don't know if we talked about this here, but UTR has said that for every high school,
okay,
UTR is free for the remainder of 2019.
Okay, so we need to push that.
And when I asked, when do you see that free thing ending?
Yeah.
There was no definite answer. So I think they're going to keep it free until.
Well, I think they did that for Texas. I thought for 2 years. I thought it was 2 years.
So it's free for now, and it looks like it'll probably be free through 2020 until they can get much more traction.
Right. So we need to push that with the high schools too. Hey, get this free program, start getting the UTRs,
right?
UTR play dates, get some fundraisers going, blah blah blah, and I think if we start pushing that route.
Yeah.
Go ahead, AG.
What precipitated this is that they went into Florida, and Florida said, well, how do we get this started? We want the freebie. And so they did it, and then they just said, look, if Florida's getting it for free, they just made a decision that everybody gets it for free. So I think that maybe in 2020, Indiana or some other state's going to say the same thing, and we're just going to keep doing it until we really get it going. They've got the money with Oracle behind them now that they can take a loss on it to get it going, because they're going to make a lot of it, And I'm the more that I get used to doing this and seeing the draws and putting the scores in, it's easy. I was a little scared of it, and I'm really kind of old school, but I understand it pretty well. I'm still trying to figure out how to get on Instagram. I get stuff, but I can't find a button.
So did you, on the last UTR, did you enter the scores yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, you okay.
They're in there.
I haven't looked yet. I just didn't know. So you actually entered the scores yourself and did all that?
I had Zorn help me. But
okay, Zorn. Okay.
Yeah, we had to. We had a couple of people that signed up after the deadline, and then Friday night at 9:00 and reopened it for an hour, and then called them and had them enter and then close it. We were doing that kind of crap, but we to get 2 or 3 more in, and then and amend which we
okay. Wait, you said and then you were stuck. So what? And then
we amended the draw. I mean,
okay.
You can do it. I said I wouldn't have figured it out, but Zoran did. What happened? I don't know if you heard this part. Some people waited till 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and the deadline had closed, and I go, I can't get in. So we called him back. We back and forth. He was on the phone all afternoon. I was teaching, and I went over to his house about 6:30 or 7. So we called him back and said, we're going to open it for 1 hour.
Yeah.
So we went and the deadline, called him back, enter, and then we closed it. But
I think one thing we have to be careful of. I think it's great that you amended it.
Don't get in the habit of it.
Well, yeah, don't get in the habit of it. And the other interesting thing is, I think we have to be absolutely certain that when we're making any changes to a draw, that it's going to be in the best interest of everybody. Because you start amending draws, and then it sends the message sometimes to the wrong people that, oh, you can tweak this any way you want, because this is how their brains operate, the criminal mind, right? So then you'll have people who go, oh, well, since we can amend the draws, I'm going to set them up so that everything is in favor of my kids. So yeah, we have to be, I think we should have a complete meeting on what are the standards for running a tournament in California through UTR, and what's allowable and what's not allowable. I mean, I think, and at some point, hold on one second. I'm a big believer in the deadline's the deadline, because otherwise what happens is, if you have a deadline and then you get these people and they miss the deadline, and then word gets out that, oh, the deadline doesn't really mean anything, just call him an hour or 2 or 3 after and you'll get in. You just open yourself up for some trouble. So yeah, I mean, I would communicate to those people, that was a one-time thing that will never happen again. We're just trying to get this thing off the ground, so don't even think about it. Right. And if you get a call, then you go, oh, did you talk to so-and-so? No, they lied to you. Sorry. Yeah.
What's great about it is that we did it because it was a coach that had 3 or 4 people, and he was working for us. And so it's the first one that we got 4 more people. And then we had a girl get sick, and I had a 4, 4, and 5 draw, and then we made it 4, 4, and 4, but we had to move somebody that was, we had to make a change. That was fine. The other great thing about UTR, there's a button you can push that you push the button on when you're looking at your tournament, and you can send an email to everybody at one time. So it has a way to contact them. So we said what's going on. It was great. So it's really I'm very impressed with it. We certainly aren't going to do that anymore. Like you say, I agree. I hate California because I love they put it, I can't believe that the tournaments will put at the bottom of the tournament entry blank, check for problem times. Like, you don't do that in tech. There are no problem times. You either play or you don't play. You don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, the schedule's the schedule. I mean, I'm fine with if people say, hey, we have a problem on Saturday before they sign up. Hey, put us in the tournament if you can accommodate this. Don't put us in the tournament if you can't accommodate it. I mean, we can be accommodating if we know, but this life of the better offer thing, and we're not going to tell you what our conflict is and then complain about it later. No, that's got to not happen. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how spoiled people are these days.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, they loved the 2.5 hours. They loved the format. They were in and out. The people that got in are our best salesmen now for the next one. I did have like this one kid who is he's like 7, and he's gonna play. I ran into his mother at the club while she's in my clinic. So I gave her a flyer, and she said, look, he plays baseball. He can't play till 11. And I said, I will make sure that we'll put him in a group that's after 11. He might be over his head a little bit, but anyway. So just
I mean, what we can do to accommodate. Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, so I've been working on the website, and there's some stuff that's going to be in development. So hopefully we'll be able to see a draft of the website at the next meeting. So I'll have something ready for people to look at, and then we can kind of tweak it from there.
Okay. Just so you know, Sage Hill is on spring break. I am putting together my proposal to go to the school next week about the convention. So that I've got no practice all this week. So I've been 10, 12 hours a day here at the computer doing stuff, knocking a lot of stuff out. So we should know something on that. And then immediately we'll go back to Wilson, because they have promised me that they would be the main sponsor and pay for the majority of all the expenses.
Now, we'll need to go to Wilson early, though. Don't they schedule it out at like a year out or something like that?
We have to get it before their September
Okay.
budgets in August.
Okay.
So,
All right.
that's why we let them know now. They can write it up and put it in their financial marketing budget. And also, I'll be talking with Delaney Mast about what they can do to help us financially or pressurize, all that kind of stuff like that. So she's the chairman of the high school, USTA high school committee. So, and Andrea and I know her very well, and she's Billy King's right-hand person.
So is there anything for, like, so when World Team Tennis, FYI AG, we're still waiting on Grace's, she can't register until the 19th of April. They keep pushing the day back on registration for her, for how orientation. But anyway, can we not kind of push this when we go to World Team Tennis, Junior Nationals? Can we not somehow, I mean, that'd be another way, since it is in San Diego, also like launch, the CTCA down there too, maybe, I don't know. Cause they'll be at, like, the San Diego coach will be down there. Isn't there, like, what's his name? Crud, the team that won last year. What's his name? Dunkel. Dunkel. Okay. And then that group, cause they're a little bit, aren't they north of Los Angeles?
Yeah.
I think that's where they are. But maybe we could do some type of, I don't want to say promo, but really try and push it when we're out there too, because that's going to be in July, right?
Right. The dates of World Team Tennis.
Yeah, but I'm just, so when we're there, we can maybe, it's another time for us to start, go out there. Maybe I could come out just a little bit early and we can go and try and talk to some of these coaches or something.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I mean, because there's, because they usually end up having how many teams from California? Like 4?
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I also just reached out to we've got a really, really good boy, and this guy, Jack Hanna, even though he's a freshman. And I just reached out to the top 3 boys at Sage, which are seniors and would probably do it. I'll know the coach there is really working to push them too. So we'll see on that. But
okay, go ahead.
Oh, I'm done.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay. So are you needing a boy?
Well, I could use a boy.
Do you have anybody, Bill, up there in NorCal?
No, in terms of players, I'm not really working with a lot of really top players at the moment. My high school team has been a perennially losing team until I took over this year. And my clientele at my school are, pretty good high school players. None of them are like world beaters. So no, not really. As I get to know some of the other kids in the league that I'm coaching, and there are some good kids in our league, and I could reach out to the coaches at that point. But, I've only been in this league 1 year now, so I'm not really a known quantity with these kids very much. So that'll take a little time.
Mm-hmm.
I have, there's a second tier of the Sage boys that will go to the second team. They would be on the second team. So,
hey, I'm going to introduce you to, I know we're on the thing, but I'm going to introduce you to these guys that are living with us. And one of the little girls, Grace, come here. Ella, come here. Okay, Bill, these are some of the guys. These are some of the kids. This is Ella. Can you see her?
Hello, Ella.
Okay, she's from Tennessee. She's living with us. She's 14. Nice. This is Jonathan. How do you say your last name, Jonathan? Dictero. He's from NorCal.
Oh, we're from in NorCal.
San Jose.
Okay, I'm near Oakland.
He's near Oakland. And this is Savin Chabra. AG, that's Sandeep's son. He just signed with Abilene Christian University.
Wow.
Yep. Okay, bye, guys. Y'all go play tennis. Bye. So that's my house at the moment. I'm getting probably 2 more kids coming soon.
And they train where?
Yeah, you can take the car. It's at Brookhaven down the street from our house.
Okay. Who's the coach there?
If you ever come to Dallas, we've got a nice bedroom downstairs. Ask AG. It's like a hotel.
All right.
But anyway, Jonathan, like I said, I mean, he might be able to play, but he's from so what'd you say, San Jose?
Yeah, that's about 45 minutes from me.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe he knows some of the high schools over there. I don't know. Is that in your?
Yeah.
Is that in your association?
No,
that
that's
talking about
in the central. That's Central Coast section. So,
Okay.
but yes, if we got Central Coast section involved, because Central Coast section can compete pretty well with Southern Cal. The top teams in Central Coast usually win the NorCal regionals.
Well, so, maybe I'll put my feelers in with Jonathan's family and see who we can possibly talk to, you know, in that area, and maybe we can get some connections there.
Right, because you got Menlo Atherton and Sunnyvale and Saratoga and Bellarmine Prep. So there's some pretty, and I don't keep track of who's top notch in CCS. I'll take a look at that, but I have some friends in CCS that I can start broaching, you know, the idea of UTR to them and start them thinking about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think we're doing okay. I think
we're doing good. I just think we just need to get the UTRs off the ground, get the tournaments going. I think they'll start speaking for themselves. They're going to start seeing how once we can get those going and the high schools can see, you know, that it could be a moneymaker for the programs, and then plus it'll get more interest for tennis in the community, you know, from like the middle school level and up. And I think it's just a win-win, you know, and then we just, you know, just make sure the weather's good.
Yeah, and I'm going to give myself a deadline because I'm a deadline guy. I have to have a deadline to butt up against. But so not only will the website have a first draft for us all to look at, but I will also have the first save the date marketing materials for the convention coming up. Are we calling it a convention?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll have a first draft of a save the date marketing material thing, and then I'll also have dedicated social media accounts. So we'll start the California Tennis Coaches Facebook page, you know, and I already started on a Twitter account, and then I'll convert something over. I'll start a new Instagram for that.
AG, did you take any pictures at the last event, or did Zoran take pictures?
Running the Lightning Invitational. Zoran did, but it was a very cloudy day, and his pictures were horrible. I just, you know, so I don't have any pictures from that.
Okay, well, I'll be out. I'm coming for the next one, so I'll try and get some good pictures for that. And then
you know, another thing to do is maybe have a picture contest. So put at the tournament, go, all right, everybody get your phones out and take lots of action photos, and we'll have different categories like funniest position, you know, coolest, you know, ball on the strings, right? Eyes on the ball. I mean, you know, best picture of, and then I don't know, maybe offer the contest winners like 50% off on an entry or something. And then put them to work, and you probably get better pictures anyway.
Well, yeah, the kids for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, I have somebody at the door, I guess.
We can put 50 pictures on each tournament. They allow 50 pictures.
All right, I'm gonna walk. I gotta walk. Are we done?
Oh, we're good.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.